2018, is that correct?
Did I quit in 2018?
Yes.
I sold my, in 2017, I sold all my property management accounts because
That doesn't mean.
dealing with all
Wait a
those
minute,
people
but we had
drive
this
me
big real estate deal last year of
Right.
25 or so grand. How did you, if you quit real estate in 2018, how did you transact
So, no,
something?
I stopped selling,
2023?
I stopped managing
Okay.
properties in 2017. In 2020, right after the pandemic is kind of when I was in 2018 at 19, I started phasing out and going into solar.
Okay.
Because what I saw was that with the way the market was going and what was
Okay,
happening.
So but you agree with her that your real estate sales license or inspection or what? What kind of real estate license?
So yeah, so I had a real estate
Valuation?
sale license
Sales.
and a property management license.
And did you just quit in 2018 or let those
In,
expire?
in 2017, I stopped managing property management. I still had the license, but I just stopped managing
Okay.
property.
Uh-huh.
In January of last year was when my license expired.
Oh.
My actual real estate license expired, but by
Okay,
that time
you
I was
agree
already
with
in
your first
solar.
question about
Okay.
in 2018.
And when you transitioned into the solar, this new solar career, you did so because it was going to be lucrative enough to support what our household, our lifestyle on one income. Is that correct?
No,
Okay, hold on.
that's not
Answer
correct.
that
That's not
question, but
correct.
first remind me, what month and year did he impart to you that he wants to start the solar career?
In 2019.
Way back? Okay. You heard a question, essentially, my understanding, unless she wants to rephrase it after I say how I understand it, and then she can rephrase it if I'm not understanding it correctly, that in 2019, on your own initiative, without her involvement, you went and told her, I'm transitioning from real estate sales and management into solar because I think it's going to be lucrative. Is that generally correct?
That is exactly correct because
Okay,
we had
he
too many
agreed.
eggs
That's
in one
what
basket.
happened. Okay,
Okay.
see?
And
See, it's not hard if you stay on point.
okay, and so, and you had a mentor that named Bob, our family friend, that was trying to get you from green to like green in the solar career to making green pretty fast, right? So because we were in between, incomes and we're not making anything after once I got sick,
Okay.
then,
We gotta take this one chunk at a time.
okay, Bob,
I think I follow what she's saying, because with my little bit of knowledge in this area, I think I know exactly what she means, but it could have been phrased more precisely. If you understand repeat back to me what you think she's asking, so we don't have a misunderstanding, then please answer it.
I'm not sure. She's asking me, why did I get? I had a mentor. Is that what she's asking me? If I had a
That was the
mentor?
first part.
okay, yes, you had a mentor, that was helping you succeed and telling you where to go and what licenses to get in order to pursue this new lucrative commercial utility scale solar project.
Let's just
career,
start with that,
correct?
break it down. So Bob, the mentor,
So yeah,
assisting you on this, and, okay.
yeah, he allowed me to go.
So she's
he
correct
showed me
about
how
this.
to get.
Okay.
He showed me how to get a PV installer's license, and I could make $32 an hour.
Okay, and, you obtained, a special licensing for solar, and per your resume, it also states how you work commission on these large-scale commercial projects, correct?
No, I didn't work commission on those large-scale commercial
Commission?
projects. I worked by the hour,
Okay, but you.
$32 an hour, plus I got $90 per diem when I was up in
Your resume
Virginia.
says commissioned work or something, what is that, what does commissioned mean, Jacob? For this Apple project?
Commissioning, so when you're commissioning a solar system, you're checking all the connections and you're making sure that everything is correctly put together so that when they flip it on, there's not a fire.
Let
So
me
that's what
understand this correctly. Are you saying you were paid 32 an hour to get the solar up
Yes.
and about, or it was purely commissions, or a combination of both?
So she's confusing, commissioning is when you go and, it's not
Oh, yeah, I
a way
see
you
what
get
you're
paid.
saying.
It's
Oh,
when
so
you go and
using
use a
the word,
system and you
yeah.
make sure it's working
I
so
see,
they
I
don't,
was using the word.
so you can turn it on.
This was for large, like Apple, like gigawatt projects, correct?
Yep. Yes, sir.
And this is what you were your career focus was on, correct?
This is correct, yes.
And
Still
during
is.
this time, you were doing these solar jobs and getting your higher educating yourself with new licensing. And is that correct?
I have gotten no licensing beyond that PV installer's license.
And how hard is that to get? How many people in that room when you got your license failed?
26.
Okay, 26 failed, and how many passed?
3.
Okay, and you were one of them, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay, so
For the solar license.
for the solar.
Yes, sir.
And during this time, I was not working, but like as much as I could be, like not could be, should be, like should be, as much as I used to. Is that correct?
No.
Okay.
Actually, what's correct is that you went out and increased your license from a sales to a broker sales, therefore making you more of a realtor and a greater ability to do more work.
And is that
you just
because
didn't do anything.
Is that because you would not go and get that license, and we were going to together start work on REO projects?
No, I never wanted to be a
No,
broker.
let me understand
ever.
this. So you didn't want him to go into solar, you wanted
No, I
both of you
did,
to
but-
combine on an enhanced broker sales licensing for both?
He, Your Honor, had taken that one job. It was 6 months, and then he came home with no job. And so at that time, we're going a month, 2 without income, and I'm like, we need to get you back into real estate. We
Broker
have to. You
sales.
can't just quit.
Okay.
He's licensed.
She apparently, although you got licensed in solar against the odds, my understanding, she's asking that since very little money was coming in, that she wanted to enhance herself from sales to broker sales in the real estate realm, and that she asked you to join her in that, so you'd both have broker license. Is that you're remembering?
Not both, just one of them
Half of
needed
it.
Okay.
Yeah.
to get the REO deals from the banks.
But you were both gonna work in conjunction?
Yes.
Okay.
And we were working at like Realty together. He did not join me at my company, like he
Okay,
misrepresented.
you heard that. Is it accurate, or you need to clear anything up?
The clarity is that I never intended to ever increase my real estate career. I was going, and as I am now, still in solar.
Did you tell her that at the time?
Absolutely.
I have records.
I sold all I sold all my property management
Tell
accounts in
them that you have the
2016.
records.
I've been
I
backing
have-
out
I have
I've been
the
backing out
journal.
of real estate
I
for
have
3
the-
years because I saw what was going to happen with the real estate market.
Jacob, in 2020, the time I got the brokerage license, it was during the pandemic, correct?
I don't remember exactly when you got it. As I
Okay.
know is that you did get it, and that was your intention. So I took go for it.
Would I have? Did you have any belief that I was going to pursue this without you?
Absolutely.
Pursue. Okay. All right, move on.
Yeah, because it's 2018.
Right.
that
So,
all this happened.
in 2019, 2020 now. Okay, you decided you weren't going to do real estate, but yet you're still licensed and you're not really working, and the family depended on your real estate and you being, because you were the primary breadwinner throughout our entire marriage, correct?
No, that's not correct.
Okay. What years were you not primary breadwinner?
What years? When we had our LLC for 10 years, it was half and half. 50, actually, 51% of the company was yours.
That's a good point, Your Honor.
Yeah.
He established in 2014 or 2015 an LLC for tax purposes, and that's why also the taxes may not be showing, because he would put all of the income from our real estate into the LLC, and then
Okay.
pay ourselves $2,500 for the year.
Okay, and although we didn't discuss it earlier, you can question him about that trust if you want, because I don't see the nexus. How generous his mom was or wasn't with you guys, that may be, but
yes.
I don't see a nexus between him, having, his,
Your Honor,
well, no, you'd address him. If
Okay,
he's receiving
Jacob,
trust money, you
last time
establish
you
it through him.
stated that you did
Unless
not.
you, well, maybe I shouldn't have mentioned it quite yet, because you wanted to work chronologically through the rest of this, and you're up to 19 and 20? So
Yes.
you wanna continue with that, or you wanna do the, you wanna,
Okay.
or do you
So-
wanna do the trust?
So, and,
He's asking me.
yes, I'd
Let's
like
just
to.
complete the chronology, maybe.
As far as the years go in real estate and solar, he, can I just give you a
Well, ask
background?
him, we're up to 19 and 20.
Okay,
If you
so,
take issue, why don't you, it's a suggestion, if you wanna go to the trust issue, it might be best for the court, if you're taking issue with anything he said about his earnings from 20 to 23,
They're incorrect.
or what was done or not done with the house equity and this
Yeah,
Bitcoin
you
and all
take
that,
care of that
if
first,
you
right?
wanna challenge that, now might, maybe the time.
okay, so the house equity, the judge just read off was over $230,000, correct? If you're claiming that I spent without your permission, which you know you gave me permission, and I also have,
I did.
I've
I
gotten
did
it
give you.
in writing,
Mhm.
that you gave me permission,
I
right?
did give you permission. Yes,
Okay.
I did. Gave you permission to buy 2 Bitcoins, but not to gamble them.
What?
They're worth $98,000 a piece right now. We'd be up 100 grand.
Oh
You
my
just.
God, we would have also lost it all too, and that's what pissed you
No, we
off.
wouldn't have.
We,
Well,
no, we
oh my
wouldn't.
God, because.
Okay, let me understand this. Was it, gambling implies some of this was taken to casino or to doing
No,
something else,
no.
formal legal gambling.
Uh,
The whole amount was essentially gambled or invested, whatever word we want to use, in the Bitcoin, or,
Yeah.
right? Did you tell her
Yeah.
not to spend up to 98?
I told her to buy the 2 Bitcoins. I did not tell her to use the derivatives market and to leverage 100 times the amount without a stop loss so that she could just lose it all. I wanted her just to hold it and sit there and leave it alone.
No.
Where'd the money go after the sale? Did you both put half in a separate checking, or you put it all in the same joint
It
checking?
was all in the same checking account. All the same.
Joint checking.
Yes, sir.
If you saw her blowing 100 grand on asinine investments, why didn't you assert at the time, I want a stop to this?
Again, sir, I gave her permission to buy the 2 Bitcoins, but I did not tell her that after the fact she can just gamble it back and forth on a derivatives market and lose it all.
Okay, you
I
mean,
told
well,
her just
that's
to
something
sit there and leave
important
it
now.
there.
If you gave permission for her to use like 10 and she's using close to 100, your account activity would clearly show those kind of transfers or withdrawals of that dramatic, sudden nature. So when you saw that, did you put your foot down, express that you don't approve of this, or?
2 Bitcoin equals.
The morning she
As
came,
Mr. Burton said, it may be a fool's errand, because we can't really, we leave you both to your own devices as to what you did with Bitcoin, but it seems to be important to the parties, and it's been thematically developed, so go ahead.
so the morning that she came and told me that she lost it all, and I said, "What are you talking about?" I lost it all. She lost $87,000 in one night,
I didn't tell you that.
and then
just wait.
Go ahead.
And then, over the next coming days, she had been taking more money out, more money, and that's when I took away her bank card so that she couldn't do it anymore. And then she, apparently, after I filed
Sorry,
for
what
divorce,
did you do to make sure she couldn't? She lost 87.
I took away her
Another
her
11
bank
in
card so she
crypto.
couldn't take it out.
What did
I
you do
took-
after the 87 was lost to assure that that
I
type
took-
of huge funds could not be transferred, withdrawn, or otherwise moved from the joint checking where you both had unilateral authority to remove whatever you want? So what steps did you take to split the remaining funds in separate account or whatever to
Yeah,
prevent this?
I took 0 steps to prevent
All right.
any splitting. No, I just took her cards away. That was it.
And there's, Your Honor, also, there was money from that, okay, so there's a $14,000 check, from, the proceeds of the sale, that is not disclosed. It's, from the proceeds of the sale of the home. And it's a check, that's, I don't know what it was, and it wasn't credit card. And that I've not been able to find. Okay, so.
I have no
can we
idea what you're
just-
talking about.
Can
Wait a
we
minute.
wash this, or? I'm done with the
14,000
credit
in
card.
addition-
I just wanna get, like, because he was trying to blame it on me, and I.
Well, yeah, you guys received $230 for the house equity. Was there another $14,000 check?
Well, no, there was like, he said,
Alright.
like, he paid bills.
Oh, okay.
And there was like 14, and I believe that 14 went to his mom, like his stash, because he was planning.
Let's
were
find
you
out.
planning to leave me before COVID hit?
Okay, let's complete
No,
the
I wasn't.
arc on this 14 grand. Do you understand what she's asking about this 14 grand?
I have no idea what she's talking about.
Okay, let him
Okay.
know what you're referring to, then we'll have him answer.
It's money that I saw on the account, the bank statements, when we got the check, or the deposit, and you were handling the money, and you were paying all the bills. No, yes, Jacob, you
Yep,
paid all
okay.
of the bills, okay?
Mhm,
And
sure.
you told me how much to put in, how much to take out, how much you were taking out. That's how that went down.
Mhm.
No? How did, when the sale happened, how did it go down? Where did the?
When the
who
sale
paid
happened,
bills? Who
we
paid
paid off all the credit cards.
I'm sorry?
I asked you if you wanted to pay off your car, and you said no. And I asked you again, you said no. And I asked you a third time, you said no. And I said, I don't think that's a good idea. But let's go invest in Bitcoin. And so that's what we did. And then you lost it all. And so
The sale of the house, can we go there too?
I
Did
just
I
did.
want to sell the house in the first place?
we had $80,000 in credit card debt, Beth.
Jacob, how many times in our history
And
have
the
we
pandemic.
had $80,000 in credit cards and paid them
I don't-
off with the sale of a property?
Okay, you can answer.
40,000, 50,000 twice. But not for the sale of,
Or
yeah, for the sale of a
within
property,
our
exactly.
fifth house that we
Rock
sold,
Rose and then
within
this
our
one.
fifth house that we sold, that we
Yeah.
cleaned.
Mhm. That's how we paid off our credit card
living
debt.
standards, is that correct?
Your living standards, apparently, not mine.
Oh, so all of these, all this time, all those houses, I racked up the credit cards every time? No, that was how, that pattern that they
Okay.
were trying to establish, that this was a bad investment or whatever, this whole persona that they've given. It was a pattern. What we did was we would buy a property, we would sit on it, we would use the proceeds to pay off credit cards. The credit, we would establish more credit, we would use those credits, that credit to live on.
Do you
and then we'd pay
understand
it
that
off.
may be, that doesn't excuse what
Yeah.
you both did with the Bitcoin, which you neither should
And
have.
I don't think that lifestyle that she's outlining right now is very helpful in her argument that they were flush at points and things like that as
What
well.
do you mean
Your Honor.
flush?
Flush with
You know,
money.
you know.
Obviously,
No,
she
but
says
that's
that they've
what we
regularly
did.
been in credit card debt throughout the
But
entire
it wasn't
marriage.
debt for us, it was, we were building more credits.
You can continue with the chronology of all this, or you can talk about the trust or whatever you want to
Okay.
continue. Either
So
way.
let's go to the trust.
Okay.
Jacob, last testimony, you denied, being a trustee to, or there being another trust other than the Donna J. Stinson trust that he brought in, page one
I'm sorry,
of.
Donna J. Stinson?
Is that correct?
That's the only trust. That's the only
Donna-
trust
Okay,
that,
you're
that
on
mom
the
has.
for-
Donna
for
J.
your-
And my
Stinson.
my still live mother, by the
Yes.
way.
And,
Donna J. who?
Donna J.
Stinson.
Stinson.
My
is
mother, yes.
What?
S-I-N-P-S?
S-T-E-N-S-O-N.
I'm sorry?
S-T-E-N-S-O-N. And here's the trick, is what-
Stinson, okay.
Uh-huh, and what there's a trust that
That's
they,
his
that
mom?
was 2014.
How old is his mom?
70.
Okay.
Now, that was the trust his mom established back in 2024 that he brought in the document for.
Let's find out from him. You guys obviously have a
Okay.
difference of opinion
So-
on this, so let's
So
develop
in
it.
2018, after I had the miscarriage and the hysterectomy, your mom came over and with you and told me that y'all had established a trust for me and the kids if we ever needed anything. Do you remember that?
So in 2015 or 16, my mother put her assets, her retirement assets, in a trust to protect, just in case her brothers, in case they ever, and also to avoid probate.
You asked him, he's saying this happened in 15, 16. You're saying in 18, he came, 2018?
Right, and then this trust, and I asked her, well, what did you name
Okay,
it?
it's fair. You can ask him the question.
And I
You,
asked
you
him-
understand that,
And Jacob,
Hold on.
did she tell
you're
me?
saying this is a promise that was made when we all assumed we were going to remain in an intact family? Okay, go ahead.
Uh,
Was it 2018 this was
It
communication
was
occurred?
after, and I remember this correctly because.
What year was it?
It was in 2018
Okay.
after the miscarriage because that was questionable on an act that Mr.
Okay,
Rancher.
the question is, although the trust was established in 15 or 16.
It wasn't, the first one was established in
yeah.
2014.
This is-
Your
Okay,
Honor.
2014?
The second one that they established for me and the boys, college, she even said that she.
What year was that one?
That one was 2018.
Okay, so the basic one for
And that she named that
mom
one-
was 2014, for
What
the
did she
college
name-
for the boys was 2018. She says in 2018 that you approached her, and essentially the theme you presented was, you got nothing to worry about, this trust my mom's established protects you,
Actually,
me,
no.
and the
She's
boys.
saying the mom said it,
Yeah.
not him.
No,
And he was
okay.
there, he was there though.
Oh, okay, sorry,
It was right
that
next
your
to us.
mom, Donna, represented this and you were there basically nodding and agreeing, I guess is what's pretty much that this protects you all. What, is that accurate, or if not, what do you remember as specifically as possible about what was
Did she-
represented?
There's-
Now, this all
I-
this all is all based on an assumption which is false, that the court has any control over a third-party trust or what they do with their money. For
He's the
example,
trustee of
here's
it.
what I want you to
Sole
understand.
trustee, he's the.
Let's assume, here's the problem.
It was intended for us.
I just want to, I'm imprinting realistic expectations. You can pursue this, look, you can pursue this, and maybe he'll admit here's the problem I'm gonna have that you're gonna have to deal with. She may have said that, probably did, he might have agreed, let's assume that's true, and let's say she was good to her word for a while, unless there's some sort of legally binding contract that she's always gonna pay him this money and consideration flowing. If she decided, if she wanted to turn the spirit off right as soon as the, you guys are separated and headed for divorce, she can turn it off and just say no more. I mean,
Your Honor, we have a joint prelim and he is the trustee of it.
I think the court needs to explain to her what a trustee is, and that's
That's
actually
right,
just a
but-
job in a trust document that doesn't give you any
Yeah,
entitlements
but
to
we-
anything.
what-
It doesn't,
Can I
if-
speak?
Go
if
ahead.
the trust is
entitlement came
revocable,
when she
there's,
told me that it was intended
So-
for us.
so,
Right.
For me
there
and the
needs,
children.
so I think the court needs to explain the
And
difference
also
between a
said that
legal
there was-
entitlement and
I
things
know.
people say
I
while
know.
married, Your Honor.
well, yeah, that's what I'm attempting. She may have said,
And we lived off of,
Okay.
okay, I'm
So-
sorry.
Yeah.
okay, but let me see if I can come up with an example.
I have.
Okay,
case law.
here's, and you can presume on that, but let me see if I can come up with an example. And it's really this simple. If the 96-year-old man down the street just says, I really like you, Bill, and just out of the kindness of my heart, you don't have to exchange anything for this, it's not a contract, I just feel like giving you $10,000 a year until I die. And I enjoy that for 5 years, and he dies at 101. I don't have any recourse. There was nothing binding. It was from the kindness of his heart. If she made this promise, let's assume for the sake of argument that you don't think it's fair and she's being vindictive with what she did. Let's assume even for this point that she is. Unless you can prove some separate sort of legal entitlement, which is very difficult, she can turn the faucet off anytime she wants.
She told us also that she had no control anymore, that the baton she handed over to you, and that she could not touch the money. Is that not correct?
She could have said just about anything.
Okay, so
I don't know what she told you.
you were there.
No, I wasn't there.
You were right there with us when she told
Okay.
us about that, and then she explained how she.
Okay,
had
let me ask
separate-
this again. What is the offer of proof, meaning what, but you can pursue this with him, but for me to help you on it,
She also.
hold on, where is the documentation to establish that he and you have some legal firm entitlement to a certain amount of money from his mom's estate? She can turn the spigot off whenever she wants, unless,
She,
and what I suspect here, this happens a lot, intact marriage, the generous older parents are gonna help, and they do, but then once it stops, the marriage is kaput. They're not gonna keep putting money, they may help their son or their daughter, but they're not gonna help their soon-to-be former in-law, and they don't have to.
well, the case law says that the
No, it
gifts
doesn't.
that a party gives, through a steady means, Your Honor, throughout
Okay,
years established.
here's what, before we proceed
Okay,
with,
go.
these questions of him, which will have no legal import, I'm gonna interrupt the testimony for what is appropriate from both sides and offer proof where they can submit their legal and factual arguments. So your argument on this is, he's a trustee, his mom,
He is now.
you or him are entitled to money from his mom's trust based on what?
No, it's not his mom's at this point.
Whose is it?
She
This is under her
created it's under his name only. She
Okay.
created a trust for me and the boys, even though, and with him as the sole beneficiary, or no, this is a second trust. With him as
Which is
the
the name
sole
is-
trustee, the name is Donna W.
Him as
Stinson.
trustee or beneficiary?
I'm sorry, he was the main, the sole trustee, and, the beneficiary
Is the boys?
was what I assumed, because she said, for you and the boys.
Well, obviously,
So I assumed it was
if
for
he's
me and the
appointed,
boys,
if
and
he's,
she said-
if he's appointed the trustee or the main or the sole trustee, he's not going to be a major beneficiary under a trust where he's entrusted with being the trustee. That simply doesn't happen. If it's for the benefit of the boys,
Which
that's
she did-
great. He has a not an entitlement to money, but a responsibility to make sure that money, college tuition or whatever the
Uh-huh.
case, is provided to the boys.
Right, and it's not been, that's what he cashed out in February, and here's the form.
If you can
I
show,
can prove it.
you would have to show that he stole specific trust amounts
I
that
have-
were
I have
designated for
everything.
the boys.
I have bank statements. I
Bank
have
statements,
text.
you need something a little more direct. Okay, let me deal with this. How much money do you think he either stole or converted to his own use that the trust said was for the benefit of the boys?
Well,
22,750 at
okay.
least.
Well, more to the point,
Over-
how much
over
was,
100.
supposed to be for the benefit of the boys?
she said there was enough to take care of both of their colleges.
Okay, but
Okay.
what does that mean?
That
Out
means
of-
a couple hundred thousand.
In-state at a community, or
Yeah.
could mean. I
That
mean,
means a
yeah.
couple $100,000.
Did anyone discuss any numbers?
No, but what I did find was, that the W, I'm gonna name it as W versus J, because they're both Donna, J
Okay.
and Donna. W,
Donna's
that's-
still alive, right?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
She's only 72.
Yeah,
'cause she
but just
pre-
like,
okay.
just like I was the main person on Jacob
Okay.
U. Mitro LLC, it's still named after him.
Okay.
It's like one of those things that they
Basically,
did.
he has a responsibility as a trustee, and I doubt sincerely
Just the
that the
name.
trustee or a main trustee is
Right,
also
it's
gonna
just
be
a name.
a main beneficiary, would violate basic, well, tenants, never mind.
And
If he's empowered, let's just accept that she said that, I accept that. Let's say if we look at the trust, let's say it's going to indicate that the boys are beneficiary as to tuition, et cetera, and he's to be the trustee to
And he's hiding his asset.
coordinate this. Now, an editorial comment on the part of the court, unless things were much different at that time, which it might have been, I don't think it's responsible for her mom to entrust or empower either of you to handle tens of thousands of dollars and just assume that's gonna go to tuition for the grandchildren. But maybe this was 6 years ago, maybe things were a lot different. Okay, let's start with this. Are you a trustee for the purpose of assuring college education tuition for the boys?
I am not.
Are you a beneficiary under the trust, or a will or any other, or a living trust or a will or anything?
This W trust she keeps talking about. If my mom has ever created one, she's never told me.
It was the night, that was it.
Okay, out of your.
Okay.
The 2018 conversation where she says, "Don't worry, the family's taken care of," is there a reference at that time to the boys and tuition and their future and all?
If there was a conversation like that, I must not have been in the room.
You were.
And she must have been talking to my mom, like on the side or something. And I
You
doubt
said-
there was that conversation, but
Okay.
I was never in
Okay.
a part of
did
a
your-
conversation like
Did your
ever.
mom, this isn't directly tied in with the trust issue, has your mom provided you any funds over the last several years?
She's given us like 200, 1,000. Like when we didn't have money, she would help us out.
How often?
She loved us.
Okay.
How often? Maybe
Yeah.
2-3 times a year at the
It
most.
doesn't matter too much, but I'm just trying to get
Your
a
Honor, can I
sense.
ask why we're indulging this to this
Well,
level?
so,
It's huge.
because I need to know. And you should be really eager
He
for
is,
me to know that if you think this is a,
the attorney is being
thank you, if you
paid
think
from
it's a
the
if
trust.
you think it's a fallacious,
Your Honor,
trivial argument, maybe it is, let's find out. I'm trying to determine, you're saying you have never been a trustee or a beneficiary under this trust,
She's saying that there's two trusts.
okay?
The one that's in 2016 is the only trust that my mother has. That's all my mother's retirement. Her house is in it.
can I?
It's her trust. It's her. She can do it. It's a
Have you
revocable
ever been a
trust,
beneficiary
and I
of
have
either
no
trust?
access to any of it.
To your knowledge, are
Not
you a
bank accounts, not any of it.
trustee under either trust?
I'm sorry.
Are you a trustee under either of the two trusts?
I'm a trustee under the one trust that my mother created in 2016 when she
Okay.
passes away.
Are you a
To avoid
beneficiary
probate.
under either of them?
Am I a beneficiary? I don't. I'm the trustee.
But I believe we provided the trust documents for this, Your Honor.
No, you
Yeah.
provided
Okay, at this
one, and that was
point,
in
right,
at
2014.
this point, I'm not getting the lay of the land from either of them. Are you able to elucidate any of this?
Yes,
Go ahead.
Why him?
because
Then when he's done,
there's
you
some
can
basic
retort
law
to it.
here that I think we need to revisit, which are two things here. One is, he has a potential inheritance from his mother has put stuff in a trust. That is not community property, anyway, and the court can't consider that in making any division, any potential inheritance he might have. Second, we all know what a revocable trust is, Your Honor. She maintains control over her assets until she dies. She can revoke the trust at any time, she can modify it, she can change beneficiaries, change trustees.
Has it
change
occurred?
I don't know, but the point is, he doesn't have control over this money.
If he's
His
a
mother did,
trustee-
and
Go ahead.
please stop. As a trustee, when somebody is still alive, you do not have control over their assets. His mother has paid my attorney's fees, and did help him out. She said every time we got in the jam, a couple times a year, the mother, came and gave them some money to help him out. There is zero entitlement she has to anything of his mom's or in the trust or anything like that, and I'm really kind of, Your Honor, a little irritated this has been
Forget
indulged to
that
this
part
level
of it,
because this
just
is
tell
so
me what
basic
the facts
law.
are.
This
Just
is
tell me
so
what the
basic.
facts are.
This is so basic, and to go after, this defies community property laws, Your Honor. Community
It's not
property is when
separate.
communities come
I
together.
get it, just give me more, if you know anything, if you, okay.
This
I,
is-
if you
This
know,
is-
I pretty
I was,
much,
this is
thank you,
everything
I
the
pretty
court is
much knew
familiar
you,
with.
how you would factually respond, but is there anything else factually about this that? you
No,
would-
it's
okay.
everything you're familiar with as far as revocable
That
trust.
same night, he even put money
Okay.
from our joint account
Okay.
into the trust.
Again,
As an
I was
intentional
I was
convenience.
asking them in case he had details that were in addition to what the court knew, and it appears it's pretty much what I suspected. The trust is completely revocable unless it's one of those
It's not the
unusual.
same trust,
Okay,
don't you
thank you.
understand that?
No, I don't understand that. No, I don't.
There's a Donna J. Stinson Trust and
Okay.
a Donna W. Stinson Trust, there's two.
They're both trusts. They're
I
both
know, but
revocable.
one was created for me
Okay.
and the boys, and him as a
Okay.
trustee, her name is just a name for this exact
As long
moment
as,
to
as
happen.
long as she's
For the
alive, as
confusion.
long as she's alive, I don't know if she's revoked it, but she can revoke
That's
that at any
not her
time.
trust.
Okay, okay. Here's the problem.
It
If
just
you,
has
you
names.
haven't proven him,
I'm trying
okay,
to show you
okay,
documents.
okay. Let's assume you're able to. Here's the problem. You haven't proven there's a linkage between him and this income. If you believe there is a basis, you could consult an attorney. If you believe there's a basis for litigation or considering that against the mom, and I think you, a lawyer, would disabuse you of this notion, but if you think that you have a basis to litigate because you're concerned that his mom did or will, which she probably already did, revoke the trust, you can discuss that. But at any rate, even if you were right and she didn't revoke it and it's in existence for the benefit of the boys, what does that have to do with linking him to this separate property, inherited money that's been put in the trust, apparently?
Okay, because
How do you
it's
link
not
him to it?
separate money, Your Honor. This
Uh-huh.
is equitable distribution that needs to be considered,
No, it
and the
isn't.
court cannot
No, the
make
court,
a
you're right, the
valid
court
decision.
cannot. The court cannot indicate that this money, more to the point, how do I link him? Here's the problem. She apparently created two different trusts. It's a little,
She
hold on,
funded-
the facts seem to be
And
a
so did
little
we.
obscure, but it really doesn't matter, because unless you have precise facts, he's maybe the trustee on one or both, or was. The mom can revoke it at any point, if there's a trust which was created for the purpose of protecting the boys' tuition, and he's listed as a trustee,
And he would
on,
not
hold on,
provide
on a trust
the
she,
discovery.
hold on a trust that she revokes, or has a right to revoke, does revoke or doesn't revoke, all his power and authority would be limited to is to make sure that, as trustee, to make sure that tuition money goes to the institution of higher learning that the boys attend. What does it have to do with him being able to raid and essentially steal money
Because
from the
he's been-
trust or take money if the mom has it in there that he can
It's not
inherit,
his-
if it's
not his
arranged?
mom's
It might even be a living trust arrangement. If she puts some of that in there as the intended inheritance, all right.
It's not his mom's, okay? They're trying to sideswipe the fact that it's his mom's. Now, what I do
I
have, Your
don't-
Honor, is
The more,
that,
the reason I keep turning to him is the more you explain, the more confused I get. What right does he have to, okay,
In
I wanna make sure I
discovery, I
understand.
asked
What
for the-
possible, let's assume the best facts possible for you. The best, here's what you don't understand, I don't have the power. Number one, you would have to deal with it and sue the mom, or get him to get, if you're
It's
dealing
his.
with him, if you
He's my
believe you,
husband.
thank you, if you believe you have some sort of entitlement under that trust, you can consult the trust lawyer. Under these facts, I can't imagine anyone would advise you to sue the mom, because it's nonsensical under these facts. But for
It's
this
not hers.
purpose, if I assume, which I'm willing to, and you said you can prove, there is a trust protecting the boys and their tuition. The reason I'm turning to Mr. Burton, I don't even understand your theory. If he understands your theory, he's gonna explain it to me, then I'm gonna come back to you and say, does that make sense? Is she trying to say that he's receiving or able to take money?
I
from
guess
the
they are saying that this money has already been given to him, this
I
inheritance,
suspect,
even though his mom is alive,
Right.
and her home is in it, and her retirement is in it, that she's
That's
already given him this money. But what she also doesn't understand is, even if that were true, still his money, not hers, that's the law too, so
Well,
that's
that's
another
another
element
thing
she
I
doesn't
mentioned to
even
you,
understand.
if there's an advancement on a separate property inheritance through the trust or not. Okay, more to the point, how do you prove, what money in the trust are you saying he's receiving that's community property money?
okay, so in February of 2024, while we have a joint prelim, and he's the trustee of a trust that he is withholding, he is hiding, that I have a direct deposit to Donna's bank account. So he is now giving the kids money and the other money that in case anything was to ever happen that I needed because Jacob, was no longer around, then that money was to be mine, not after she
What
passed.
money was to be yours?
The trust.
Who
The
said?
trust that she created for us,
Where?
the W trust.
Where does it say that here's an irrevocable trust, no
He
matter
won't
what
provide
happens,
any of it.
this
He
money is
refuses
to
it
be,
in discovery,
this is
Your
not
Honor.
my son's money, I will never revoke this, and either when I pass and he inherits it, or before I pass, this money will be split between the two of them. Where does it say that?
He cannot prove that it says otherwise.
No, it's what it has to basically say.
No,
He doesn't have to prove otherwise, it's
I asked
nonsense.
for discovery and
The
he
mom
refuses
can,
it.
the mom can
It's not
revoke
his
this, the mom
mom's.
can revoke this trust at any time,
I
and
don't
if she
understand.
doesn't
This is
revoke the,
prejudice, Your
thank
Honor.
you, if she doesn't revoke the trust, and it's funded with separate property inheritance that she wants him to get, can you point to that trust, or a living trust, or a will, or anything on her part where she says, I want my daughter-in-law to inherit and share alike with my son on these funds? What?
Okay,
It's just getting
Your
worse.
Honor,
Mr. Burton, I don't
have
understand.
anything on this.
You're
do you
Are
understand? I don't understand the argument.
I
Ian. Do you-
don't, well, I do, because it
You
is
do?
in line
Good.
with every other argument
Okay,
she
can,
has, which is
okay.
just trying to
Then
find
you
things.
explain it to me, and then I'm gonna turn to her
Well,
and see if I
I
understand.
can only explain it as that it's just delusional thinking in line
But
with
more
other delusional
specifically,
thinking.
or more specifically,
Well, it's just wishful thinking.
what is she saying?
She's saying that
That he actually received
he
it?
actually has received it, and that it's put in another trust in her name, but he's actually the owner of it and has full control over it. Even again, if that's true, that is an inheritance and it's not community property, she has no entitlement, but he says that's not true, there's only one trust. He is a trustee on it and a potential beneficiary, but this is what we see every day. This is estate planning 101, Your Honor.
Okay,
Right.
Your Honor,
Hold on.
so what I'm saying.
And he's saying he's the trustee on one.
He
right?
says there's only
Only
one
one.
trust he's ever
Which is
aware
not
of.
true.
He is the trustee of it, and he is a beneficiary, and this was done for estate planning, and all of his mom's assets, including her home, bank accounts, everything. So if they have so her bank accounts, for example, are in the name of the trust owner, as he testified to, so they don't go through probate. So if she has some, thing saying that he sent his mom some money, like
No.
giving her some money back, it's gonna go into that account. And she
No.
has like literally one transaction where that's ever happened,
Oh my
so,
God.
Okay. Do you,
all
we
I
don't know
have
if she
hundreds.
it doesn't really matter. Do we know if she it has no,
I,
it has nothing
I
to do
have
with
no idea if she has made changes or what Ms. Mitro's,
Okay.
now, it's very
Does he
possible.
agree that the philosophy of this was to protect the boys' tuition?
No,
or
he
did-
already testified that the purpose was to avoid probate and to estate plan and to make sure that it didn't go to her brothers and that it went to where she wanted it to go. And you know,
Yeah.
it's very possible that Mr. Mitro would have been the
It's a
only
different
beneficiary and but still there would be the goal to look out for Beth and the kids too, because at that time they're married, Your Honor, but as you noted, those things change as we see all the time as far as what people are willing, in fact, by law, Your Honor, that's why when you get divorced, you don't even have to change your will. It's by law you're removed from the other person's will, because
Right.
it's just generally understood
You know,
that
a
you
divorce
don't want your ex
automatically revokes.
to have,
provisions
rights
for
under
the
your
other
will,
side.
and so it's not any different that the mother-in-law wouldn't necessarily want to be liable for Beth the rest of her life, without
So
the
if he's
death.
receiving something, it's just via inheritance.
If he's receiving anything right now is what he testified to, that she has helped him out with both while married, helped them out, and has continued over time to a couple times a year, and as I alluded, for example, she paid me, Your Honor. That's
So
the
when
type
she
of help.
passes, he inherits as a beneficiary, he inherits the separate property.
I assume that the,
That would be the case if he didn't transfer that money that was put into his account directly into our
Okay.
joint, which I have proof that he does.
Okay, so basically his mom paid him, if, his mom may have paid him some money and maybe he did put it into a joint, okay.
yeah.
I don't know,
Literally, he
okay,
says 3 to 4 times a
saying-
year.
She's saying that some trust money was given to him, and then he commingled it in the joint account, and then it lost
Yeah.
its identity.
But that
as a
happened many,
separate
many
property.
times. That happened
Okay.
many times during the marriage. She said 3 or 4 times a year, mom would kick in to help pay some bills, they put it in the joint account and do all that. That's, he does get money from that,
That's not
yes.
how it was.
But,
If that happens, you both under the law benefited, that is community property, but community property that's already spent.
yes,
If she paid him separate property under the trust, he decided to put it into a joint
Mm-hmm.
account, it arguably loses its identity and can be converted to community property, that would be true.
Now, when
But
we
it's
put
all,
money into
it's all
hers,
spent
but what
now.
about when
Yeah.
we put money from
Into
the
her?
joint account into hers?
yes.
I really think at this point, there's nothing, that they would, the court can't
It was
pot,
both,
okay,
brother.
here's what I understand, okay. Here's what I'm gonna strongly advise you.
And he's been on
Thank
like
you.
7 vacations.
You know, even if everything you said was correct, the court would have no jurisdiction to rule what authority he has over someone else's trust.
It's not.
Thank you, if everything you're saying is correct, you can consult the trust attorney as to whether you believe you have some entitlement under the trust. You don't sue the beneficiary or someone who's the trustee under ordinary circumstances.
I
If
have
you
to
think,
fight
if
as
you
a-
think the mom is violating,
I, as the mother, thinks he is violating the trust that
think.
was
You can think
created for the
anything you
boys
want.
because he has not provided any
Okay.
logs that I've asked for. He's not given
Okay.
me any information about
What,
it.
what does he have to, on someone else's trust that they graciously give him and you money? What requirements, if I were her, I would regret helping you guys out to this level, if this is the gratitude. What requirement does he have when someone gives you gifts out of the kindness of their heart, advances money from the trust, to document anything? That's like saying the example I
If
gave
somebody
you.
gives you
That
the
guy who
trust for
that
your
guy who
wife and
keeps
your
giving,
kids?
that guy who down the street who keeps giving me 10 grand out of the kindness of his heart, and he decides to stop doing it because I'm an ingrate, and
Or
I'm
that he's
nasty
found
to
another
him,
woman?
and now I want him to give me 20 grand because of that. Mr. Burton, wouldn't that pretty much analogize?
Yeah, and as she just said, because he found another woman. Yes,
So
this
he's-
happens, like, she is not with Mr. Mitro anymore, so mother-in-law, probably
It
not
wasn't
willing to help her.
mother-in-law. Why don't you get that? I don't understand just because it
No, I
hasn't-
don't, you're right, I don't understand your theory at all, not in the least. So explain it again and then
There's-
question
Okay,
it.
let's say the W means,
Maybe, if you think you can establish it through testimony of him, go ahead. If that'll help me, go ahead. find out what he's done with the trust, what he receives,
Jacob?
what his duties are, if he's trustee, if he's still
I
beneficiary,
have a,
does the
I
mom
have a
revoke it,
document
etc.
here from American Equity Investment Life Insurance Company. It's an annuity, that says that you're the trustee of, okay? And that money is direct deposit into, it looks like it's Donna's trust, her main trust account, the Donna J. Stinson Trust. The W is going into the J. That was for the kids. And then directly from the J into your account. And over $50,000 since you've left, and you've been on 7 vacations, since then. And he just was in Puerto Rico again since last month and got back, Your Honor. So, tell me, where's the kids' education money? Because Levi wants to go to pilot school now. Last month, it was when it was supposed to start.
Okay. I have no idea.
No idea.
I don't know what you're talking about with this W trust thing. If my mom's done that, she hasn't told me about it.
Jacob, you were there in front of.
I wasn't there. What are you talking about?
When you guys.
January 2024?
No,
I haven't
no.
seen you.
In
Can we propose an
2018.
argument, Your Honor?
Wait, in
I
2018.
think we're close to it.
In 2018, when y'all came home from the brokerage and she told me, and like I finally felt, oh my God, she accepted me. She, this is all, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When she said, I created a trust, these are her exact words. And when she was talking to me, I created a trust for you and the boys in case so you didn't ever have to worry. And I was like, holy shit, thank you so much. That's amazing. And then I said, well, don't worry, you were always welcome. We will always take care of you. And I joked and was like, you don't ever have to go in we were never going to put you in an old person's home because you can always stay with us. You're welcome with us. And then she goes and says, about 10 minutes later, oh, I forgot to tell you, I allocated money, and there's money in there, separate money in there allocated to the boys for their college. And then you said, Dylan doesn't want to go to college. And I said, whoa, hold on. Do you remember this?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Oh.
We
Here's
change
what-
conversation
okay,
like this? No, no.
Beth, I wanted you to address me. I'm assuming for the sake of this, because it sounds like it, like your memory is probably
Perfect.
better than his, and that
On
you're,
that.
it sounds to me like you're conveying this conversation far more accurately than him. But here's the problem. I'm having trouble with what possible difference it makes at this point. I've seen this, Mr. Burton's seen it hundreds of times, if not thousands, so have I. Grandparents or parents of adult children and then the grandparents of the teenagers, they do these things all the time. And then when there's a divorce, it all gets, they can either revoke it, or even if they don't revoke it, monies that through that trust or outside of the trust that they give to their adult child, either by inheritance or gift, is not marital property. So you would basically have to show, and even if you're correct, even if you're correct, you would need to do this through a trust action against his mom after speaking to an attorney.
But it's
You
not
would
his
have to
mom.
show some it's impossible for him to be doing these crooked, corrupt things and for you to say there has not been a violation of the trust, meaning you would have to involve everyone, including the person who set up the trust. You need to show what crooked actions, not just what is he doing that's dishonest and crooked, but that it's marital property and not gift or inheritance. She could revoke this at any time, and if she hasn't revoked it, the people who are in a position theoretically to complain would be your children who are not receiving their tuition money. It's nothing this court has the ability or jurisdiction to handle. You should speak to a lawyer about this, just in the event that if you're right and I'm wrong, which could be, you need to speak to a lawyer who handles this area and can pursue trust litigation. I'm not permitted. All I'm permitted to do is if it's, the only ruling I ever made on a trust as it to being, there being a component that I could deal with. There was one case where it was clear someone was literally stealing money that was intended for the adult children, and even then I ran into a problem because the grandparents said, no, I just revoked that. And it has retroactive effect, and there was a whole nightmare. Okay,
Can I say something?
do you want to proceed to closing arguments, or do you have more for him? I don't think he's
I have
gonna.
more.
Go ahead, but I don't think he's gonna tell you what you
the,
want, but I could be wrong. Go ahead.
There's been orders for you to give a FDF form, a completed FDF form for over a year. Can I ask why that has not been provided?
Objection, FDF was filed on April 23rd.
And I did not receive a copy, may I?
You can ask him about the FDF, but
Okay, on the
it's
FDF,
filed.
how much does it say you made in Uber? How about this?
Look at it.
Okay, the FDF, I do actually, but just not, the FDF, the original one you submitted in October when this started, your first and the only one that I've seen, says you were making $5,300 a month through Uber. That was your income, and that is what the judge based the $700 from. But yet, your taxes are saying you didn't even make that. But yet, on your FDF, you were making $5,300 a month in Uber. So, can you explain?
Hey, if you recall, my first FDF, I was working over at Talent Court, and I was doing Uber.
And on
So,
the second page,
hence,
you said
hence
through
the
Uber,
hence,
it says-
Okay, never mind. Go ahead.
you said through Uber on your FDF, and that you didn't make any other money, then you weren't claiming it because that was October, and you had already gotten fired from Talent Corps. And I also have for the willfully underemployed that he's been out doing because his job, he was hired for through Talent Corps and Energy America, $650,000, Your Honor. I have an email from the company.
All right, objection, there's no question in this, Your Honor.
Yes,
Ask him a
is.
question based on
Okay,
it.
so, I see what you're saying. So, Jacob, did you, tell me how much, per month you were gonna be making with, Energy America?
Did I tell you how much I was going to be making? Yeah, the letter says I'm making 60 grand a year base pay plus commission. I worked there for 40 days, and on day 42, after I'd already been let go, I finally gotten a sale that would have happened, but it didn't happen because
Ability, right there. Okay, so why? Because you went to Texas, because you got mad at me because I wouldn't give you any more pills. So you took off to
Yeah.
Texas in the middle of that job. Were you not working at that job when you took off to Texas? As a
I was working
retaliation, he
when I was in.
giving me financial security. Financial security was a abuse that he did to me throughout our marriage, and that was he succeeded in his solar career, and he was making and then he threw it away.
I mean, the threw it away part sounds believable.
But
How
he-
successful he was, I don't know. He went to work at $28 an hour at this new place.
And that's the
What's your current income, by the way? And I think, has that changed? What does your income consist of?
I don't have it right now.
Well, you're surviving somehow. Okay.
Okay.
And I think,
Chat.
and
We've
he,
been-
Dad
we
did
were
this
on
as well,
eviction.
wasn't there testimony that Dad himself borrowed or accepted money from the adult, children? I'm having,
No.
there wasn't?
No, he, had given money directly, his mother, no, that
Never
didn't
mind.
happen,
Okay.
no.
Okay. Well, one party is then.
So, Your Honor, he was the sole provider. Jacob, were you the sole provider 2 years before? Listen, 2 years before you left. Was I paying any bills?
Give me a year.
I have your I have your bank records.
Give me a year.
What year?
Okay, before you left, 2023, before you left, and 2022. Did I,
20,
yes, did I?
2023, I was working 80 hours a week because you're freaking being useless.
But come on, let's phrase things differently.
I'm sorry.
Right, and then number
You-
20.
You chose not, even though you had a real estate license and you had a broker license, you chose to sit around and just complain and do drugs.
Oh,
And so,
bullshit, Jacob.
yeah, so
you
no,
know
I
what,
don't
hell,
want to
you
hear it.
dismissed it forever, since the beginning. You just wanted, okay.
This is basically a domestic argument.
Yeah,
we're
kinda.
witnessing
Okay,
at
I'm
this
sorry,
point,
so but he's the sole provider. Before he left and he walked, it left us with zero, he did not supportive, and there was no status quo.
I get that. I have a few questions that might help me. Here's the problem when I'm deciding alimony, and I'm not gonna drag you guys back to court. We're gonna finish today. I may have to issue an order from Chambers or set a date where I just read the order into the record, in which case you can participate by video. But here's the problem I'm having. I can't find that you're unable to work just based on the obvious emotionalism of the situation. I don't think either of you appear to be maximizing your abilities, but here's the problem. You've no proof that you medically can't work. You're being, hold on. You do still have an active realtor's and broker's license. He's saying you were doing Uber as recently as a year or two ago and expending $100,000 on these investment schemes. So what's changed? Why are you unable to work at this time?
Your Honor, my
Yes.
medical, it's been that he made me go in Uber. He said if you don't, the
Okay.
bills, and I say this because
Yes.
it's a financial threat. Again, he said he was not paying
Okay.
rent. And if I didn't go Uber, he told me.
Okay,
you
let
go
me
Uber.
assume that's
And
true.
I was not
Okay.
gonna have a home.
Let me assume
with
that's
my
true,
kids.
well, let me assume that's untrue and he lied. I've heard that both of you have this recent history of both driving Uber, having spent a lot of the house money on these very unwise
There's a business.
investments. And do you still have your realtor and broker's license?
No, I
What
did not,
happened?
because I tried to do an order to show cause, to get him in contempt to pay his support, because he was.
Well, no, I didn't ask you what
I
he
didn't
didn't
have
do.
money. I could not.
You didn't renew them.
I
Yes.
couldn't
But you
renew-
could, can you reactivate both by paying a fee?
I could, but I was never able to complete a
Okay.
transaction by
Here's
myself.
the problem.
Because of my disability.
Here's the problem. Even if you found.
We work together.
Thank you. Even if you found the judge in the country or the world who was most sympathetic to your position and believes everything you represented and nothing he represents, there's no order this court could issue that would even remotely put you in a position where you could live off that alimony and not have to work pretty much full time. So,
If you-
well,
if you
hold on. What are you
just-
telling me your abilities or future plans are? You're not going to live off this non-existent money.
Yeah.
So, what do you?
My
What's your plan?
future plans was that you would see that he's willfully underemployed, you impute his wages at what he.
I don't know. That's
ability.
first of all, willful underemployment is an incredibly difficult finding for the court
That's
to
what
make.
you
That being
prejudiciously
said,
and wisely said at the beginning.
I get the sense that he may not be maximizing his abilities, and you're sitting back hoping to live off him. Tell me what your plan. There is going to be no order from any court in any country that would order him to pay the kind of money remotely you're looking for to live off. What is it you're going to do with your career? You're not going to live off this person who candidly.
I can't, my doctors
Who
told me
neither
not to. I
neither of
cannot
you
follow the
neither
regulation.
of you seem particularly responsible at this time. You both have licenses for various things that
No, I
haven't really
don't.
been
I
used.
do not have
Okay,
a
I'll ask you
license.
again. What do you intend to do with your life, employment and income wise?
Income, he was the main provider. He has been that.
What are you planning to
And
do?
he-
I've
and
already
I
told
support-
you
I
there's
supported
no
him.
order from any judge in any country that would even provide you one
That's
fourth
not what
of what
I
you
want.
think you're going to get out of him. He's not the product you think he is. He's not nearly remotely as income generating as you think. I both think you kind of went off the rails the last few years, emotional issues, stress. I don't think either of you are in much of a position right now. So, but that said, what are you planning to do? Because I'm telling you right now, there's no order, and even if I ordered it, it wouldn't get paid. What? Because it can't get paid at that
It wouldn't
rate.
get paid, Your
What
Honor.
is it? What are you planning? Okay, are you planning to purely live off some alimony award this court's going to give, or do you have some other plans?
I plan to live off of the support that is due based
Okay.
on his ability, his prior work history, his earning potential and
Okay.
capability.
Okay,
Based on his
as
last
so
two
I
jobs
should
that he was hired for.
ignore all of the tax and
And
other.
I want to
Thank
get
you.
my health in
So
order.
I should ignore all the tax and
I have-
other. Thank you. I should ignore all the evidence that indicates a much more limited income range than you think.
Because of the fraud I was trying to show you.
Okay.
They-
Tell me about the fraud.
Okay, the fraud shows a deliberate copy and paste made on his taxes when
Okay,
he was editing the
Uh,
income.
first of all, if the court is not permitted, unless you go to, thank you, unless you go to the IRS, which
That's
I'm
not
not
what-
suggesting, because anything you do to cripple his income is gonna harm you. But if a tax inspector, thank you, listen, if a tax inspector or auditor issues a report that it's a fraud and it's a cut and paste, I can act. It would be criminally irresponsible for me, in the absence of a forensic expert, an IRS specialist, to indicate that a fraud has occurred. Okay, well, Mr. Burton, why don't you go ahead and say your piece? She doesn't want to answer.
All right.
But
No,
let's
I
just
just
start,
have to ask
let's
you a
just start
question.
with that. Let's find out, maybe I'm wrong.
On his-
Does this court have the ability, unless something's so glaringly absurd or fabricated on its
You-
face,
So-
to issue that kind of opinion, or would we need, and I had a couple cases like that,